Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is July 3rd, and today we're taking a look at this system spinning over the Pacific Northwest. Check out all these thunderstorms that we had this morning, some towards the Vancouver Island area, the San Juans, the east slopes of the Cascades. We have current thunderstorms moving across eastern Washington towards the I-90 corridor, so heads up for that. You can see the thunderstorms over there for Idaho, Montana will continue on during the day today, and we should get another round this afternoon moving up as well. Checking out the SPC does include just north of Seattle and that threat. I think you can kind of push that off to the Cascades now. Our thunderstorm chances west of the Cascades for BC and western Washington are diminishing rapidly as we go through the late morning and afternoon hours today. Check out the severe threat out there for Montana. Tornado, significant wind, big hail. So heads up if you're traveling out that way today. And even a severe thunderstorm could happen in portions of eastern Oregon, Idaho today as well. And tomorrow, that severe threat mainly pushes off through western Montana, east Montana. Again, it's going to be under the gun. 4th of July, you can see we do have a thunderstorm threat for the Cascades and the Okanagan Highlands, portions of eastern Oregon tomorrow. And that kind of pushes off a little bit more on the day Tuesday. So checking out SeaTac here, we got to 67 yesterday. 8 degrees below average. We're going to be probably 8 to 10 degrees below average again today. Nowhere near the record highs of 93 and 92 in 2015 across the region, although we should warm up a bit as we go through mid and later week coming up here. Now this is right after the fireworks shows. This is 10-meter wind speeds. You can see the general story is not much wind to clear out the fireworks here. Northerly winds down the sound, probably not going to clear things out very fast. A little bit better towards the Strait of Juan de Fuca, towards West Whidbey Island. And you can see some of these winds coming down the coast will clear out things decently there. But as a general rule, not much wind across the area here to clear out the fireworks shows. Now this is looking at the European here. This is kind of showing our precipitation timing here. As we go through the morning today, you can see some of these thunderstorms moving up through the Okanagan Highlands, through portions of eastern Oregon as we go through the afternoon here. And then we kind of wrap that up tonight, overnight, and then we start this back up again tomorrow morning. Some thunderstorms will be across eastern Washington, Oregon, up towards Idaho on the 4th of July. Okanagan Highlands are under a flood watch. It's going to be some pretty good precipitation amounts for some areas up there, especially burn scar areas can flood pretty quickly. But as you see, as we go through the evening hours towards the fireworks shows, much of Oregon, Washington, Idaho are going to be dry for the fireworks shows. Eastern British Columbia should still be getting some good precipitation on in through the night, 4th of July into July 5th here. And as we go through a little bit further out into the extended Tuesday, you can see where that trough is still out here. Going to spin some precip back over the region here. We'll see if there's any thunderstorm potential on that as we go through probably in the next day or two. We'll take a little bit closer look at that coming up. Now looking at the 18,000 foot, 500 millibar heights, this system parked off our coastline here. And you can see that this is pretty close to us. If this backed up a little bit to the west, we would have had better dynamics over western Washington, Oregon, British Columbia, and we would have had a better chance of thunderstorms. We did get a few out west of the Cascades, but not as much as we would have had this trough been a little bit further offshore. I'm going to show you guys a case at the end of the video today. August 1999, we had 4 straight thunderstorm days in a row at SeaTac. We're going to look at the differences between that and this setup. GFS, very chilly today for SeaTac, warming up a bit tomorrow and maybe a bit more as we go on through later into next week. We'll check that out again as we get closer to that. Here's Spokane. Those thunderstorms are going to keep the temperatures down, some cloud cover out there, and then maybe a warm up as we go into later next week. Now, taking a look at this is the extended European here. You can see general warm up as we go through later on into July. We could even get some warmer days. We'll continue to watch that. It looks like a big ridge might be building down over the southwest portion of the USA. We'll see how far that heat dome extends on in our future forecast here in the upcoming days. This is Seattle-Tacoma weeklies. Check some of these temperatures out as you go through much later July and all the way into August. This is just kind of something fun to look at, but you can see some of the control runs have us over 90 in later July. But again, can't put much stock in that at this time, just something fun to look at. This is monthly temperature outlook. They did put this out a few days ago, June 3rd. You can see the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest, below average temperatures. Look at the center of the country. Looks like it's going to be above average as we go through the month of July. Here's a monthly precipitation outlook. Really no signal for the Pacific Northwest. Some of Nevada below, but you can see the monsoon season remaining active here through the month of July for portions of Mexico, Arizona, even into Utah and Colorado a little bit there, and portions of western Alaska as well. This is something I just thought I'd show you guys here. This is the 8 to 14 day hazards outlook, kind of an experimental product here. They kind of highlight certain threats to the region. So excessive heat. I mean, this is July 9th to the 12th. So this, you got to take this with a grain of salt, but this is just kind of an extended forecast that they do here. Risk of hazardous temperatures. And you can see they mark it experimental, excessive heat for some of these areas. It looks like it's going to get hot across central portions of the country here. And then you can see that slight risk of heavy precipitation for the monsoon and up for the upper Midwest here as well. Now, taking a look here, I wanted to show you guys this. This is August 1999. Look at this for SeaTac, 4 straight days of thunderstorms. I actually was working at SeaTac in Boeing Field during this time doing these weather observations. So it was a pretty exciting time here. We had some pretty good thunderstorms. And I'll show you the difference here. This is the trough setup for that time period. You can see here 1989, August 2nd, here's the 500 millibar heights, and it allowed this just deep moisture and better instability to encompass the region here. And you can see some of the mid-level lapse rates, for example, here. Very unstable air was allowed to be brought up over the area, deep moisture, and even had some shear associated with it, as you can see here, looking at deep layer shear. So that trough position kind of meant everything, where this trough is a little bit too close to us, did not allow these better dynamics to get up over the Pacific Northwest. And this is another look at that. You can see all the convective available potential energy that was brought up over the region here. And here is what we're dealing with today. The trough was just a bit too close in this setup. Had it been a little further west, like we talked about, would have brought those better dynamics over the region here. And you can see that convective available potential energy mainly off to the Cascades and east, and that's why they're getting severe storms out generally east of the Cascades and out towards Montana with this setup. And this is kind of looking at the thunderstorm composite for that time too. This is August 1999. You can see, of course, this stretched up into British Columbia and west of the Cascades. Got some really nice thunderstorms. I can still remember them today. Lots of lightning. And you can see during this setup here, generally these dynamics are pushed off to the east. So yeah, west of the Cascades looks like today probably our thunderstorm threat has come to an end, but not east of the Cascades, eastern Washington, Oregon. There's going to be another round this afternoon, and you can see these currently moving up towards I-90 as we talked about. So heads up for those. And those thunderstorms are going to be hanging around here, the Okanagan Valley this afternoon. Going to be getting possibly 1 or 2 rounds of thunderstorms there. So there is a flood watch for that. So heads up for that possible flooding with that. And we'll go ahead and we will do this again tomorrow. We'll try to watch for that trough position, see how much we're going to warm up next week. What kind of shower activity is that trough going to bring across the region as we go through early and mid next week here. So hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later.